Teaching your child about money could be one of the most important pieces of information you impart to them. And in part 2 of this 2-part series, I'm going to walk you through 2 things you can do to teach your kids about money that will not only set them up for success, but will build them into great leaders today. After traveling the country and speaking to hundreds of thousands of teenagers, I can tell you they need and even want this content. They want to know how to manage money. And teaching your children how to manage, save, and multiply money will set them up for a success they will never be able to have without that information. To really teach your children well about money, you need to have a sidecar mentality. The sidecar mentality comes from the analogy of a motorcycle that has a sidecar. The idea that you're driving the motorcycle and there's a cart alongside the motorcycle. Usually that motorcycle has 3 wheels, has a sidecar. Somebody sits in the sidecar, you're driving, but they're along for the ride. But they're really not doing anything active in the travel journey. Here's the idea. You as a parent want to have your children alongside you as you're making your money choices to help them see how you come to decisions, why you make certain decisions, why you value certain things, where you're placing your money, even the investments you're making. Sitting a child down and helping them see why you have a 401k or why you have a rental property changes the game. I can remember one time my parents bought a small little house in a couple towns over that they were going to fix and flip. And my dad told me, I was saving for a set of golf clubs. I love to play golf. It's still my favorite hobby. But I wanted to buy a new set of golf clubs. So my dad said, instead of giving me $500, which is what it was going to cost even back then for the set of clubs I wanted, he said, I'll give you $5 an hour to help me work on this house, and then you can earn money for your golf clubs. And if at the end of the house you're not at $500, if you stick with me to the end, I'll get you the golf clubs. I really wanted these golf clubs. So I started to work with my dad. My dad was a really handy person, so he's flipping this house, he's renovating it, I'm working alongside him, I'm picking up trash, I'm doing whatever he needs me to do at the project. And I asked him one day, Dad, why do we do this? Like, why are you doing this, fixing this house up? We had a few rental properties. Why are we doing all this? And he says, well, Mike, your mom and I make a good income. We're able to pay our bills, allow you and Lindsay to do some of your extracurricular activities. We do this so we can take a couple vacations a year with you kids and create memories. It helped me see why. Like, it was, now I understand why they invest. To them, investing was freedom with family. That's why they had rental property. That's why when a tenant called them and a toilet was broken, they went over and fixed it because they had a higher mission involved. But he told me that. And I'm telling you as a parent, having them come alongside with you and seeing the decisions you're making, where you're putting your money, why you're spending money is really, really important. I will say one of the things my parents never told me growing up is how much money they made. I still don't know how much money they make. And for some reason, historically, how much money somebody makes has kind of been a taboo subject. I actually don't think it should be with your children. I think with your children, they should know how much money you make so they can see how you place it in certain boxes. So they can see how you slice and dice the pie to be able to live the life you live. I don't think that should be a taboo subject. A lot of people do. I disagree. I think you should say, Mom makes $1,000 a week, Mom makes $1,000 a month, Dad makes $2,000, whatever the number is, lay out the monthly income, let them do bills with you every now and then. Let them see where the money goes. And again, when I was young, I loved this stuff. Like, I loved it. I started my first job at 14 because I loved making money. I loved opening my wallet back in the day with Velcro. Come on, let me hear it, Team Velcro. And I opened up the Velcro wallet, and it was like that sound. It still sounds like money to me, right? I even like shoes with Velcro. It just reminds me of the days when I had $8 that took me 12 days to make that I could go buy something, right? But the idea here is that I loved making money, and I love learning about that. There's a lot of kids out there that they don't care at all. Some of your free spirit artistic kids, you all know those kind of kids you have that would rather dance with lilies than deal with numbers. I get that. They're probably not going to be interested. But still allowing them to see where money goes and how money flows there is really, really, really important. And that sidecar mentality, do bills with them. Help them see your 401k. Tell them what age you want to retire. When you are doing an investment, make that the dinner conversation. Make the idea that talking about money is really important, because let me tell you something. My pastor used to say, water is free, but the pipes to pipe it there cost money. And the idea is helping people throughout the world. There's a lot of things that we can do to just help people, but often it takes money to really change people's lives, whether it's flying somewhere or helping somebody or somebody can't pay their bills, and being able to contribute that way. Allow your children to feel that amazing difference. I love that verse in the Bible that said it's more blessed to give than receive. It's an amazing verse because it's the idea that if you've ever given something to somebody, you know how good that feels. Well, allow your kids to see how you've set yourself up so you can give. And if you can't, it really pushes you to set yourself up so you can. See, why I like the sidecar mentality is, let's be honest, we all act different when we're being watched. You all know the creepy kid eyes that are looking at you like they come down when they should be in bed, and they're staring into the den when you're having your night snack, but we all know it's 6,000 calories and a little bit of comfort food. The idea is we don't really want them down there at that point so they see what our day ends like. The idea is that we tend to act a little different when we're being watched, and sometimes those watchful eyes push us to be better. Not only does the sidecar mentality help them because they get to see what you're doing, but it helps you. Pushes you to be better. Put your decisions through a filter. Like, what should you be doing with your money? What should you be setting you up? Should you be focused on finding a new job to make more money, or starting a side hustle, or starting a business to earn more cash? Should you be doing that? Or is what you're doing pretty good, but you just need to bring your kids in to help them see that? Before we go on to the last tip on how to teach your kids about money, what's one thing you bring your kids into the whole money situation in your home? Or if you don't, what's one way that you want to? Make sure you comment below. We love to hear from our followers. I'd love to hear what you're doing with your children to really help instill these habits that can really set them up for success. Let's get back to the last tip. And the last thing you can really do to help teach your kids about money is give them opportunities and help them earn money. There's very few things that are as rewarding as putting in time, earning a wage, and being able to buy something or being able to get something that's of value to me that I've really earned. Earning something has really lost in our culture. We've almost made it feel like earning is a negative. And I'm telling you, teaching your kids how to earn and really feel that sense of self-worth and value, because I worked at this. I really put my time, energy, and gifts into this, and now I've seen some results. This is one of the things that I was able to do early on. 10 years old when I got my first paper out, I literally made $18 a week. Yes, $18 a week. And the idea was every day after school, I had to go down to what was called R&J News. It was this little news stand, and I put all the papers in this big bag that hung on the front and back, and you're trying to ride your bike, and you're falling over. One time I did fall over. I hit my head on one of the ladies' flower pots. I broke it, and now you have to decide, is all $18 going to fix the new flower pot, or are you going to be honest or not? The truth of the matter is, I go down every single day, I get these papers, I drive them around. And it was 7 days a week. So Saturdays, before church on Sundays, I had all the time, I had to be doing this paper out for $18 a week. But what it taught me was, it really taught me work ethic of something that had to be done every single day. And I saved up my money, and I saved up my money, and I saved up my money until I could buy some things that were really important to me. That's value. And I want you to help your kids earn money. I'm going to tell you a story at the end, a way my dad helped me earn money that literally still has stuck with me today. The principles I learned in that experience, I still use today to build businesses. And I'm going to share that with you in just a minute. But one of the things that you have to help your kids understand, you really can't practice managing money until you have some. And by helping them earn money, you can help them earn their own money and learn to manage it. My parents helped me work through this as I was growing up. They helped me understand you get to keep 70% of your income, but 10% needs to go to God, 10% needs to go to savings, 10% needs to go to investing in some sort of thing where the money can be multiplied. And the idea was they broke up the checks so we weren't just living on 100% of what I made. Teaching kids not to live on 100% of what they make is really important, because the truth of the matter is, the reason the average American family has $15,000 to $20,000 in credit card debt is they still haven't learned to live on what they make. Now understand, a lot of credit card debt isn't necessarily frivolous consumer debt. Sometimes it's gas and new tires on a car and a new AC unit in the house and new furnace that broke down. Sometimes it really is necessity. And then we know we have an earning problem, not a saving problem. We need to figure ways to earn more cash in order to eliminate that debt. So understand, teaching your kids how to manage some money that they've earned is of real value. And by the way, earning doesn't have to be a job. It can literally be chores around the house. I'm actually not a big allowance person. I'm a big wage person. Allowance gives the kids programming that you get money no matter what. That's not life. We get money when we trade it for effort and value. And it's the same thing that we should be instilling in our children now. Your job is to vacuum the floors and to sweep off the deck, and you need to do it at least twice a week. And at twice a week, that's going to pay X amount of dollars. And now they have money that they can manage. It doesn't even have to be money outside in a job, and so you have to wait till they're 14. Give them little tasks in the house so they can make money and start understanding how to manage it and move it and even multiply it. When I was 12 years old, I wanted to start a lawn care business and start mowing people's yards for money. I lived by a couple trailer parks, I lived by a couple other neighborhoods, and I wanted to buy a push mower where I could literally go knock door to door and ask people, can I mow your lawn once a week, and I'll set you up on a weekly fee, and I'll just make sure your lawn is mowed every single week. But I needed to buy a lawnmower, and the lawnmower was going to cost $35. So I asked my dad, will you give me the $35 to start this business, and I want to start mowing lawns as fast as possible. My dad's like, no, I will not give you the money, but I will loan you the money. I will loan you $35 for 6 months interest-free. And again, I'm 12 at this point. Interest-free. And the idea is I'll give you $35 and it needs to be paid back within 6 months, and you don't pay interest. At the end of 6 months, you're going to have to start paying 5% interest on that money. And he laid out what that would cost per month to just not pay him back. So my incentive was to go and knock on doors to get my debt paid off, my business startup cost. So he went and he took me to a friend of his who actually refurbished push lawnmowers. That's why I was able to get one for $35, by the way. So he went and got me. I used a couple of them, found one that was good for my height and pushing it, etc., and I was good to go. Because remember, it's a push mower. I didn't have a truck, a trailer. I was 12, so I had to be able to push it to wherever I was going to mow and push it back to wherever it came from. So I had to have something that was kind of maneuverable for me. So then my dad's like, okay, how are you going to get customers? I said, okay, I'm just going to literally go knock door to door. Every single door I can find, I'm going to ask if I can mow their lawn. He said, okay, now here's what you have to understand. You have business expenses. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just going to go mow their lawn. He goes, well, how is that lawnmower ran? I'm like, with gas. He goes, right, they don't give that away. So you have gas that you need to put in. What lubricates the engine to make sure it runs? And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm 12. He goes, oil does. I'm like, okay, good. Oil does. And he goes, oil costs money, and sometimes that needs to be changed. What happens if your mower breaks down and you need a part for it and you need to take it to somebody to fix it? So every time you make money, you can't just spend everything you make. You have to make sure you have a little bit in reserves if something goes wrong or if you need gas. So here's what I did. I went and knocked on doors, and I can still remember the very first door I went to, and they said no. And I walked away, and I'm like, man, I thought that I gave a really good sales pitch, and they said no. Went to the second one, said no. I think I went to about 15 houses I counted until I got my first yes. $3 a week to mow this person's lawn. Like, okay, great. So I started mowing their lawn once a week for $3. Then they told their neighbor, and the neighbor said, who's mowing your lawn? I got this kid that does it in the neighborhood. Okay, yeah, tell him to come over. And I got my second customer. And then I got my third. And I had about 15 to 20 customers at age 12 that was paying me weekly to mow their lawn. I started to grow to where I was making literally over $200 a month to a 12-year-old, with a lot of money, $200 a month mowing lawns. So then what I did, I got my dad paid back actually within inside the first month, which I was super excited about. My dad took me out to dinner to celebrate because I paid off my business debt, which was fun. But anyway, I got my first business was launched. But what I learned by that is a couple things. My parents made plenty of money to pay for the mower and do all that. But what he taught me was literally invaluable. Because I launched a business at age 18, a construction business right out of high school. I didn't go to college right away. Started a business at age 18. I used the same business principles. Got a loan for the startup costs, paid it back, started hammering on doors for customers, treated them well, and I built the company the exact same way. I do the same thing today. I just don't knock on doors. We run more online marketing because knocking on doors today is a tad creepy, let's be honest. I'm here to tell you, you teach your kids about money, those principles ain't going away. They're going to get fleshed out year after year after year for the rest of their lives. Teaching your kids about money is one of the most loving things you can do for them. And I want to give you a free gift. I want to give you our free book, The 7 Secrets to Managing Money and Creating Wealth. So it not only shapes your own money habits, but for years it shapes the money habits of your children.